All right. Welcome, everybody, to another Ecom Power podcast. My name's Norm Farrar, a.k.a. the Beard Guy here, and I am sitting with my co-host, Michal Chapnick. How are you?
I'm great, Norm. Good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We finally got sunshine here. I might even just go and sit in the patio after this.
Me
Not
too.
Las Vegas weather, though, Michal.
It's we get into the heat, but
Yeah.
it's so good after this really long cold winter. So
You know what's funny? So, anybody who's listening, Mikhail is talking about a cold winter in Las Vegas where it only hits like 80 or 90 degrees. When I'm talking cold winter, I'm talking minus 20 to minus 40 degrees. So there's a little bit of a difference.
yeah, for us
We
it's cold.
we've got a really great topic today, one that we're always asked about, and it's so much about it. If you don't know how to hire a VA, what to talk about, what are the red flags, well, today you're going to learn. So today we're going to be discussing, or the topic is finding and training your Walmart virtual assistant, and we're going to dive into topics like why do Walmart sellers need VAs? And Michal, I think you have a
What?
couple of things.
Yeah. What is the problem in finding a good VA? How you find a good VA? What mistakes seller make when they're working with VA? So we're gonna talk about all of that, make it clear to everyone. It's like I see sellers like, or they have it really good, and they really have a lot of VAs, and they're managing. Or I see the other side when they're struggling. So I hope today we can, give you guys some good information. With our, we have the best guest for that.
Yes, we do. So our guest today, our guest began our guest first began living and breathing in Amazon. So we'll forgive him for that. And that was back in 2015. He actually still has an incredible Amazon VA service. But today we're going to be talking about Walmart. And his rapid growth and success of his business required that to get to where he got to. Let me try to get this straight here. To get to where his success was and to maintain that, he found that he had to reach out to VAs. And there really weren't too many systems out there to do it. So he decided to get involved and create VAA, which is a service that both Mikhail and myself use. His VAs are trained to do almost any job on Amazon and now on Walmart. So they are vetted Amazon VAs. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit further in the. Did I say Amazon or Walmart? I meant Walmart, but they're for both. Anyways, this is Gilad Freimann. He's going to be on today. And yes, you can count the number of bloopers. We'll have a blooper count for me today. I'm kind of exhausted. I just got off of an Amazon Live, so I'm talked out. But anyways, what do you have to say, Mikal?
Yeah. So yeah, let's bring our guest.
Okay. Now, hey, Glad, how are you?
Hi, Norm. How are you? Hi, Michal. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you.
See,
Norm,
that's the way
yeah,
you're supposed to say Macau.
yeah.
The
I
way
was
that
gonna
you,
say that. I was gonna say that I'm one of your only guests that could actually say the name Michal.
Yes.
It comes from here. You
yeah.
have to practice the thing.
Yeah.
If I do it, I just sound like I'm choking. So I'm
Uh,
just going to say Macau.
so two
But
Israelis against one.
Yeah,
Against
there we
one.
go. Uh,
Norm is surprising me because he always say my name like really correct, and not Mikal or some other. He just said really kind of close. So thank you, Norm.
you're welcome. I'm trying. I am trying. In the next year or two, I will get your name right one of these days.
Yeah.
So, just one thing. This is still a very new podcast, really centered around Walmart. But we got to talk to our producer for a second because I'm not quite sure if we're supposed to be going to our sponsor readout now or at the bottom of the hour. Just a
Hey,
There he is.
it's up to you guys. You just give me the cue and we'll run it.
Why don't we do it at the bottom of the hour?
All right.
All right. See, we're getting these things straightened out. But
Yeah, we get in there. We get in there. And in this note, we have to thank Gilad because we one of the reasons we can continue doing this podcast is him. He's one of our sponsors. So thank you so much, Gilad.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here and to be sharing some insights about Walmart and Amazon because we see how it goes together all the time. Yeah, so thank you for inviting me.
Something that I just thought of right now, and this is because there are differences. We always talk about the differences between an Amazon listing and a Walmart listing, but you're one of the first agencies that have actually got trained, vetted Walmart VAs, which you just
Right.
don't find out in the marketplace right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, so many people thought, okay, you know what? I'm starting to sell on Walmart. I don't really need an assistant. I just copy everything I have on Amazon, put it on Walmart, and then big surprise, it's not working. So I mean, what we started to do about half a year ago, with the help of Michal, actually, is that to take our VAs, our Amazon trained VAs. I mean, for those that do not know us, we were focusing on Amazon until about half a year ago, and filtered and trained virtual assistants from the Philippines specifically to work with Amazon sellers. But we know that it's not enough to take an Amazon trained VA and just give them assignments on Walmart. We have to really go deeper and training them on the differences on how to work with the Amazon platform. On the Walmart platform. So we started doing that about half a year ago, and it went deeper and deeper to see all the nuances, all the things that are really relevant for VAs to do for Walmart sellers. And there are a lot of things that as a Walmart seller you don't want to do yourself. There's so many things that if you want to grow your business, if you want to focus on growth, you should focus on the things that only you as the owner of the business can do yourself. And if you're doing everything by creating the listings and then doing all the optimizations and the keywords and even the customer service shipments and all that, then it never ends. And that's what we got into training our VAs specifically for Walmart.
Yeah, it is. It is so different, and Michal does a great job of really pointing that out every podcast that we do. And if you just think you're going to cut and paste, actually, one of the best things that you can do, going down a separate rabbit hole, if you want to see somebody putting up a really bad listing on Walmart, show a long title. That's all you need to do is see a long title, and right off the bat they've just copied and pasted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's get this party started. First thing I want to know, and I'm sure you're going to be able to answer this, is why do Walmart sellers really need VAs? I know you said you can concentrate on the growth of the company, but are there any other points that you could bring out?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is this. I mean, if first of all, the fact that you're doing everything yourself, like a solopreneur, does not end well with e-commerce sellers in general. Not on Walmart only, but in general, because we're so used to doing things ourselves on e-commerce that we forget that this is not the way that business are built. If you look at any business in the world that is not an e-commerce business, then you would never imagine that you'd start a business, a restaurant, a shoe store, or whatever, and creating everything by yourself and keeping it only you doing everything. I mean, if you open a restaurant, you would have to hire servants, you have to hire a bartender and everything. You even have to rent the place. And when you're doing things on Walmart, then suddenly you think, okay, you know what, I can do this myself. I took a training or something, or like I said before, I just copy pasted and that's it. I don't need anybody to do it myself. But then there are two problems that happens here. One is that eventually you get tired from doing it because you're doing again and again and again the same things, and it's exhausting you as the owner of the business because you're starting to do tasks that are not equivalent to your pay salary, to your salary, because you're there at the top of the pyramid that should be focusing on how to grow your business financially, how to get more and how to bring value to your company. Otherwise, you will not survive as a business. And if you're continuing to do tasks that are somebody else with $5 an hour can do for you, then you're wasting your time on the wrong thing. So eventually you're getting exhausted. And secondly is that you're not getting the enthusiasm about your work. I mean, this is not why you joined. I mean, you joined Walmart or e-commerce in general in order to have the life that you wanted. You want be there and work whenever you want on the things that you want, and focusing on growth. And if you're doing everything that takes forever, and there are more and more things, the more you go into Walmart, you see that it never ends. I mean, you have to do the shipments, and you have to do the inventory, and you have to do the customer service, and the listings, like we talked before, and this without even talking about PPC on Walmart, that is different from Amazon PPC. So you need to know that as well. And again, not even mentioning social media and things that are all around the brand that needs to be done on a regular basis. Who tells us that it's us that should be doing everything in this business? That if you look at the big sellers, those that know how to grow their business faster than their competitors, they're hiring VAs because they know that they should be focusing on the things that only them could do as owners.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree. When I work with sellers and brands, I see different, how they're managing and operating their business. And the one that are really successful, they have a whole team of VAs, and the one that are struggling is because they do it all themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's like a chicken and egg, because you think, okay, I'm still small, so I will not hire anybody until I get to 50K, 100K a month, and then you're surprising that it takes more and more time to get there because you don't have the time to grow there.
Right.
And from working with most of our customers, there are high level sellers, intermediate to high level sellers on Amazon and on Walmart. So I look at them and I see that the question that they ask me is always like, what else can I give my VA to do? Give me more ideas. What else I want to give? I want to delegate. And usually with new sellers, it's the opposite. They would think, okay, I'm not sure that I want to give this. I'm not sure that this is the right. I think I'm the best person to do customer service in my business because I know better than everyone how to do it. And the switch of mind of, okay, just because I can do it better than anybody else doesn't mean that I have to do everything. Okay, it's good enough if somebody else would do 80% of what I'm doing, but then I have 100% free to do something else. And that's the spirit I think that you would see in high level sellers.
Yeah.
One of the tricks that I learned, and now we've adapted it and put it into our business, is if you're small and you don't think you need VAs right off the bat, one thing you can do, because I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you do something the first time and then you go back 3 months later and you go, oh, what did I do? And you've got to figure it out again. So I use Loom, and every single thing I do, like Loom is on 24/7 if I'm talking, and I'll just record what I'm doing. Oh, okay, I went over here, it records my screen. And I just, and right now, even for Loom, with their AI title generator, so you don't have to go and type in your own title. It'll actually do it for you based on your conversation in the video. But it's really super to be able to put it into a folder. And then, oh, you need how to set up user permissions. Boom, here you go. Here you go. Here's all the everything from the minute tasks right up to the very detailed tasks. And then whenever you need to give a VA the work, you've got it already.
Yeah, and I see sellers, they come to us and they say, I'm not sure that I want to hire a VA, but there's so many SOPs that I have to create and prepare for the arrival of the VA. And I say, don't worry about it. The idea is that, okay, if you decided to start delegating, the first task that I would give my VA to do is to start building the SOPs for me. Like you said, using Loom, for example, or any other screen videos, screenshots or video taking of your computer, and then having the VA watch it again and again and again of how you do things in your own way, and then they would watch it again, and then they would create these SOPs for you, and then it's a great way for you to see if they fully understood everything, because you just go on the procedures that they created for you. You don't waste days on creating these SOPs, and it also makes them much more professional, and it prepares the way for the second VA to come in.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
why is it a problem to some seller to find a good VA?
The problem is that you cannot really have this person sit next to you in the office, look at them in the eye, and feel the vibes. And so you're counting on many things that are not as important as you might think. You usually people would think that the best way to estimate if a person is good or not is just to look at the resumes. But if you post an ad now on, try me, post an ad that you need an Amazon expert or a Walmart expert, you would get, by tomorrow you would get 400 people applying.
Yeah.
Surprise, they would all say that they're experts on Amazon or Walmart with 20 years experience on selling on Walmart. So, and they would basically say whatever it is that you want to hear in order to be hired. And they know that you cannot really know if it's true or not. Even if you give them a test, it becomes viral, and 5 minutes after, everyone know how to solve it. So that's a mistake that I used to do in the beginning. You mentioned, Norm, I started selling on Amazon in 2015, and I hired VAs in the beginning based on what they say about themselves on the resumes. And I've given them tests, and then they were, doing like 100 on the score, but eventually they would all come with the same problem later on, that they would either disappear, or they would start giving excuses why they cannot work, or they would would have very high difficulties into learning new things, complicated things, because they show you that they know something from before doesn't mean that they would continue to learn. You need to see people that are motivated, people that are eager to learn more and advance in your business, that are capable of learning complicated things and apply them without mistakes, and that they're really here for the long run. And it takes more time to find VAs that way. And this is why usually people don't have the patience into looking at these characteristics in a person, and they would much rather give them a test about Walmart or Amazon, or just look at the resumes and interview them for 20 minutes and think that, okay, that's enough. I know this person, but they're just really good in passing this interview.
I really want to get into especially what your service does, and that is vetting. So it takes a lot of pressure off of people. Like if you go to some of these recruiting sites and you have to do it all yourself, that puts a ton of stress on you, and you really don't know. But one thing that this reminds me of, and Kelsey will laugh at this, because one of the things we did in the beginning is we were hiring VAs, and we were hiring them at a fairly low rate. And I started to see this common denominator that once a week, once every other week, there was always an emergency in the family. And this one VA actually had told us three times that her mother died. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to question ever if that's a case, but when it happens 3 times in a row and she just forgot about telling me. So what I found out about that is because I was at a lower rate, they were getting better jobs from other platforms, and they were just taking on the job. And instead of just letting me know, they didn't want to do that because that would cause maybe a little bit of friction, which it wouldn't have. And so what I learned to do is hire at a higher price. So that's one thing that I can say, and this is going to lead into my question about, services. They are going to be a higher price, not overly expensive, but I want you to explain some of the services that you do. And, can you give us a rough ballpark of where that should be now, either with a service or when you're just hiring somebody in general?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, you're 100% right. I mean, for example, all our VAs, they're university graduates, because we're looking for people that they have a high estimation of themselves, and they deserve a higher rate. We're not hiring people that are 16-year-old with the lowest budget possible, because they, like you said, they would not last, and they would give you even more ridiculous excuses than what you said. It's hard to compete that, actually, but I heard some. So so we're hiring people. First of all, you should pay them well. You should think of, okay, I want this person to be a part of my team for the long run. And if I want that person to be a part of my team for the long run, first of all, I should pay them well. I should tell them what are my expectations from them, and how I plan to give them more and more responsibilities in the future, and also better conditions. So it's people are afraid to talk about it on the interview, or when they post an ad. But it's good, because I don't want them to think that I will pay them more in the future. Why? I mean, you want to pay them more in the future because you want them to take more responsibilities. You want them to stay with you forever. if they're good, obviously. But so it's something that you should not be afraid of, to tell them the truth, to build for them like a way for them to see, okay, this is where I get in, but I want to stay for the long run, so I see a future in here. Another thing that is important is to really make them feel a part of your company. I used to work with VAs in the beginning, and I just gave them tasks, and every day they reported back to me, and I gave them more tasks, and so on, and eventually they all kept disappearing, or like you said, giving excuses why they cannot work, and that the reason for that is that they were not really feeling connected. And this is something that I used to, a mistake that I did in the past, but now we invest a lot of efforts into making sure that they feel connected to VAA. It means like sharing, our philosophy and what we believe in, and tell them about the results, and showing them what's going on, what's your plans for the future, and how many of you that are hiring VAs out there are actually sharing your targets and goals with your VA. Many of you are not even showing the VA how many units you sold, because you don't want them to have too much information. I think the opposite. I mean, I'm not going to give my VA my bank details, on day one, but I will definitely want to have them involved in the business, to feel like this is their target as well. This is their goal to reach this, and not just mine. And the more you share, the more you create this environment that they will feel a part of your business. That's really, you're recruiting people for the long run. Now, obviously, for us, we VA, we specialize in e-commerce. Like you said in the beginning, we started as an Amazon-focused company. Now we also recruit and train virtual assistants on Walmart. But we invest a lot of time into finding the right people. It takes us almost 2 months to filter our VAs. So because we are looking for things like their motivation level, their commitment, their eagerness to learn more, that they show up on time day after day after day, that they submit the tasks that we give them again and again on a very high level, that they think outside the box. And it takes time to find these things in a person, and there's no task that could actually replace the period that it takes for you to get to know a person. And if I could hire people as good as I hire in a week, I would do it. It would cost, it would save me a lot of money. But we prefer to invest more time and effort into finding the right people. So for those of you that are looking to hire VAs by themselves, I would say patience. Patience is super important here. Not to hire the first people that that you see just on the resumes, but to have them go through several steps. For example, we create the ad. After that, we give them some tasks to fill in the ad, and not just sending their resume. So they have to go, for example, on Walmart, check the pricing of a certain product, tell us what they think about this product, send it to a specific email, and not just reply back. So we see that they invest time and effort into doing this. And then after that, they will have an interview. And then after that, they will have a second interview. And then we'll go and ask their previous employers. We're going to talk to them on the phone. I mean, we have really like a team that's dedicated to finding who they worked with before on the resumes, and calling them and get to see what they thought about these VAs. And all these things take time, but eventually you get the people really that will stay with you for years, and it's worth spending this time in the beginning to have somebody for the long run.
All right,
I
great.
love this. Yeah, I really love this information, because I was just thinking, when you hire a VA, there's probably things you can do to know if they're good or not. Like give them tests, like all kind of assignments.
Yeah.
So you say you did that. So give me one that is like that we can share now with everybody. Just like one task that you would ask a VA to do, and what are you looking in their like the result to see if they qualify or not.
All right, so I'm going to give two examples. The first, I talked about it like a minute ago, but I'll go in deeper into details.
Yes.
In the first ad that you publish, never allow them to just reply back and send their resumes. I mean, because they would just copy paste and send it to 1,000 people in addition to you. So you want to see that they actually read your post, and that they cared about your business, and they put the effort into doing what it is that you asked them to. So always in the middle somewhere of, after explaining about your company and what you're looking for and so on, give a task. Okay, tell them to go into a certain page on a website or whatever, it's on Walmart, on Amazon, whatever it is, and see that they put the effort into going into this website, and give them a small task, to check the price, to tell you the color of the product and so on, and then send their answer together with the resume and all that to a different email. So that's one thing. You'll be surprised that you're going to filter already like 50% of the people, all right, immediately. Okay, so now instead of 1,000 people, you have to deal with 500. It's still a lot, so you have to continue to dig in. And then the next step, before going into an interview and wasting half an hour of talking to the wrong person, then you should give them another task. But this time, you want to see how they analyze a problem. So you'd give them, for example, like to go on a certain listing on Walmart and see over there what people are writing about the product, like negative reviews, what they think about the product that is not good. And summarize for you the 3 most frequent problems about this specific problem, about this specific product. So what are people complaining about? And also, how would they do in order to solve this problem? What would, if they were the one to manufacture this product, what would they do differently in order to avoid this problem? And then you can already see that they had to invest time into going to the listings. They had to read all the reviews, basically, or a lot of reviews, to find the most frequent ones and not just the first 3 negative reviews. And then to think a little bit and to be creative of how to solve this issue. So it's already another step that will filter for you the wrong people and will leave you with better people that were willing to to invest time and effort and going and following instructions and submit it on the right way and so on. So the more you do it like this, the better it is. I talked about asking them always for people that they referrals, like people that they recommend that could recommend about them and actually contact these people. And on the interview itself, I mentioned that it's always important to have this as a video call and make sure that they're calling from the place that they would be working from you. Because a lot of times they would be calling and you would have a perfect internet connection, quiet, everything is perfect. But then, for this interview, they drove, an hour and they sat in they paid to sit in a quiet place, like a work space. But this is not actually where they're going to work for you on a daily basis. And then after that, you're going to be surprised that you hear a lot of chickens in the background. And then you say, it's very strange. The first time I talked to him, it was really quiet. Or that the internet connection is very slow because suddenly it's not a co-working space, it's their home, and you want to see the environment, so they show you around and show you where they're talking from, so you'd see if they have a quiet environment to work from and how fast their computer works, and give them specifications to see check online their internet speed, and on and on and on. We have
Wow.
too much process, but eventually this will give you the best results.
Those are great tips, Norm. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're awesome tips. We just talked about this before we came on, Michal, and that is we got a screenshot of their phone, we got a screenshot of their internet and their computer as well, so that we know that they're not working with 1998 hardware, because that's gonna if you're working with a slow computer and slow internet, you might be paying $6 an hour, but in reality, you could be paying $24 to $30 an hour because
Right.
you're not getting the output.
Right.
But that being said, Kelsey, the producer boy, you got one task to do, and guess what it is right now? Oh my gosh.
Ta-da.
That's why we pay them what we do. Press the bloody button. Sponsor.
He's not around.
Oh, do you need a Filipino guy to press the
I think we need a VA.
Yeah, we need the new VA. Here it is.
Sorry. Literally, as soon as you said that, my computer just froze. So we're going to throw it over to the sponsor now. And,
all right.
Here we go.
Are you struggling with your Walmart marketplace business? Do you need help from a skilled and reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high-quality Walmart VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Walmart training and ongoing professional development and are committed to long-term working relationships with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Walmart-trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Walmart Marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. You know that company?
Oh yeah, yeah. I could have said it now if you wanted.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you saw it live, Gilad.
Yeah, I saw live. All right, so
I
All
hope
right.
you're happy with that. I hope Norm did a good job.
Fingers crossed. And Michal, I think you have a couple of questions here, don't you?
I always have
I
so
know you
many
do.
questions. So, can you tell me? I think we already asked, like, no, actually, no, I didn't ask that question that I really want to ask. Is can you share a couple of things to avoid when you work with a VA?
yeah, I mean, first of all, I would work with a VA in the beginning, at least, with specific schedule, so they would know exactly the hours. It's okay to do it later on, but in the beginning, tell them exactly which time zone they should be working for you, and check it in advance, obviously. And then they report to you when they start to work, when they finish to work. Ask them to send you an end of the day report by the end of every shift. A lot of cells, they forget about this, so they don't really know what the VA was working on, and then they always ask themselves, "Am I? Maybe I'm overpaying. Maybe he's not doing what." So just ask them to create for you a summary every day of what they did, and also think about it in advance and create for them a schedule of work, because a lot of these tasks that VAs are doing are repetitive tasks. So so they do it again and again and again. So you should create for them a schedule, so they know that on Monday, from 8 to 9, they go over reviews, and then after that, the second hour, they go over and do your PPC or whatever. But they know exactly what they did, and you can know exactly. Okay, it's Tuesday today, so the VA should be going and creating a post on Facebook, for example. So you know exactly what they did, and they report to you on a regular basis. Yeah, I think that's something that's super important when working with VAs. I mentioned the SOPs. It's super important to have SOPs when working with VAs. Doesn't mean that you have to create them yourself, but it's good that they would be working under a structure of procedures. And like I said, patience. It's not only when hiring the right people, also when working with them. People make mistakes. It's easy for us to think that we're working with robots, especially when they call it virtual assistants. So we get confused a little bit, think that the person on the other side is a bot, but it's not. And they make mistakes. Exactly like if you hire somebody to sit next to you in the office, would make mistakes. And just because they made a mistake doesn't mean that you have to take it over from them and do it yourself now. Or ask them to send it for you for approval every 5 minutes, because then they will send you everything for approval every 5 minutes. So it just be patient, understand that problems and mistakes happen, and work with them in order to avoid these problems in the future. Not taking the ball back to you, and in order to verify everything that they do and approve it, and because then it never ends.
One of the things that we try to do when we're training, and training is everything. So one of the things we try to do is train the trainer. So the first VA that we bring on, or that first major person who's going to be in control at the beginning, you might grow out of that VA. But let's say that you bring them on. There's something that Michael Gerber, I think that he calls it the entrepreneurial roller coaster. And we all fall into it. We all do. You sell and you're passionate 25 hours a day. You have to get your VA. You get a VA in there, but you're too busy to train them. So what happens is they make mistakes because they're not properly trained. You yell and scream and say that they're no good. You take them back, you fire them, and then you go back, you get too busy again, and then you hire somebody, you don't train them. So it's this constant entrepreneurial roller coaster. And it really is the upfront training. And even if, like I said at the beginning, you might do these Loom videos, but sitting down and getting that first one out of the way, this first task, we create a task board and then assign tasks to different VAs. But getting that one done where it's actually, for me, I don't think a policy, an SOP is proper lingo. It is, depending on if you're just doing step-by-step process, but ours is a procedure where we define, we have proper spellings, we have prerequisites, we have the SOP, then we have the quantification, like who is following up on this and reporting. and we put the templates, if you have any templates together, all in one area, all in one folder in our project manager, which goes to Google Drive, and we have a video training. And all of this takes time. But what happens is once you all of a sudden get those tasks, the senior VA or the VA that you've hired can do this themselves. And now they're getting it ready for everybody else that you'll be hiring on. And then those people will be ready to train anybody. And that's how you scale uh, um, your Amazon, Walmart, or any hyper growth company. That's the way that I found is the best way to do it. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you have anything more to say to that.
No, I completely agree. I mean, for us, we invest a lot in team leaders, for example, that they're the trainers. I mean, it's important that they do things in the beginning themselves, so they get to be familiarized with all the tasks, and so you know that they know how to do it perfectly. And then they become trainers. It's another responsibility that they get, and so they're happy, to advance and move forward. They get more responsibilities, a better salary, obviously. But then after that, they're really committed and they're taking it as their responsibility to train the others, and it works perfectly.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm working with VAs maybe 9, 10 years. I've been through all of that. I've been through the phase that I was doing everything myself, and then trying to hire. And then if it didn't work out, I would get frustrated and go back to do it all myself, and then try again and again, till I realized that when I hire a VA, if I give them an assignment and they don't do it correct, it's maybe because I didn't communicate correctly. So once I understood that, and I started changing my mindset, then it started working really well with the VAs. And it is, I learned so much from Norm about, how to, how they do the SOPs and videos. And that's really important, because if I hire someone and it didn't work out, that person did the SOPs and the videos, and now the new person that come in, we just let him, we give him all that, and then the training is shorter. So now I don't need to spend 5 hours training him. He have all the SOPs, we have the videos, and now it's maybe went to like an hour of training. So so yeah, everybody out there that are struggling with VAs, remember that sometimes the first VA is not going to be the best match, or maybe the second not, but maybe the third. I think the third usually will be the good match. But you have to try, and it's all about your mindset.
I have to say also that sometimes people make a mistake that they want to hire like a Superman VA to do everything, and
Mm,
it's important to understand that not there, even us as entrepreneurs, maybe we do everything in our business before because we have to or because we want to, but it doesn't mean that we're experts in everything. For example, like a social media VA would have a completely different type of character compared to a PPC VA. A PPC VA should be really like analytical type of person, really know everything about math and Excel sheets and all that. And that's exactly the opposite character that you would want from a good social media VA. That should be all over the place, really creative, really all about social media, really good in expressing herself or himself in English, in writing, and being like a storyteller. And that's not what you want from a PPC VA. And sometimes you hire the wrong person for your tasks, or you just want the same person to do everything, which is not really what their character is. So you have to think,
yeah,
what is the right thing to give to your VA?
Yeah, and that's one major thing, one major difference between doing it yourself. We've hired hundreds of VAs, and we've had hundreds of people not cut it because they either didn't say what they were doing or what they said they knew. We didn't catch it, and we decided that we're going to go the vetted way for a lot of our VA hires now. And both Michal and myself have gone that route. And one of the reasons we have you on here is the service that you provide. And what I liked about it is you get a VA, but if the VA doesn't know the answer, and this is just, it recently happened, we needed an answer on XYZ. She didn't know. and you have a pool or a group, like I guess it's a Slack channel with all your VAs, and they all work together. And if they don't know, somebody in that Slack channel is going to know the answer. And that's one huge advantage of going to an agency, a vetted agency that has VAs, rather than doing it with yourself. If you go and try to hire and you ask somebody something that they don't know, you're going to have that all back on your lap again. And then you're doing what I break things into, and these are just numbers I pull out of the air. $10 tasks, $100, $1,000, and $10,000 tasks. I'm working on building and growing a company. I don't want to have repetitive tasks or smaller tasks. That's for the VA, and they come back with answers rather than coming back to me and saying, "Oh, can you answer it for me?" Doesn't cut it. We want them to do that, and being able to go back to a communication channel like that really does provide its advantages.
Yeah.
I completely agree. First of all, I have to say that one of the parameters that we're looking for in the VA is their ability to say that they don't know something. We actually test. We have a way to test them on this during the 2 months of filtering. So when they get to a place where they don't know, we want to see that they're resourceful enough to find the right solution and the right answer. But if they don't, they're not afraid to tell us, okay, I don't know, what should I do? But then we don't want them to go to the seller every 5 minutes and bother them. Okay, I don't know. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? They go to us, and we invest heavily into our community. I mean, we support them way more than just financially, from celebrating their birthdays to having events in the Philippines. And I go back and forth to the Philippines all the time. Next month we have an event over there. We bring all the VAs to a hotel. We have a party. So they feel connected. They feel like this is a safe place for them to ask questions, to get answers, and to grow. And then we connect them with team leaders, with managers. They have small groups and that they have masterminds, so they continuously support each other. They have their own ways of communication, and if they have a question, then they go back to their team leader or their community, and they get the answers. They don't bother the seller every 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. What I love about the fact of Gilad service is that when you hire a VA, you don't need to teach them how to do your shipment to FBA or WFS. They already know. They already learned. They already tried. They already worked with other sellers. So that's going to save you so much time, because this is where the struggle is, to train them. So Gilad, tell me a little bit about what they know. I'm sure we can talk a little bit about Amazon as well, because I'm sure it's great for somebody, if somebody just wants one VA. So
Yeah.
I think another thing that I really love, let's say you hire the VA and you want to give him 4 hours a day or 2 or 3 hours a day, then he can do focus 2 hours on your Amazon and focus 2 hours on your Walmart. Is there other platforms your VAs are familiar with, or
No,
you just...
we're really like focused on Amazon and Walmart. We have different types of VAs, so I'll explain a little bit about how it works. Basically, after filtering the VAs, we start training them, and we divide them between the different departments that we have. We have the Amazon department. I'll get to Walmart in a second, but we have the Amazon VAs. They're trained to help you with pretty much everything on Seller Central. So it could be like customer service, shipment plans, inventory management, could be case management with Amazon. It could be listing creation, keyword research, indexing, and so on. We have the PPC VAs that they're specialized only on PPC, creating campaigns, optimization of the ACAs, the bids, understanding all the different reports, and so on. Now, we have the Walmart VAs. The Walmart VAs are basically Amazon VAs that really prove themselves to be experts on Amazon. They were already working and had gained experience as Amazon VAs, and they were really excelled in doing their job over there. And then we took these VAs and then we gave them additional trainings, and then now they know everything. Pretty much like we divide them between Walmart VAs and PPC Walmart VAs. So the Walmart VAs would pretty much do everything that I just mentioned before about Amazon VAs. Obviously, everything that's just take it and put it in the right platform of Walmart. So, but everything is the same. It's the everyday work that takes forever on the shipments, the inventory, the customer service, the listing creation, and so on. So all the everyday repetitive tasks on Walmart, that's going to be the job of the Walmart VAs. The Walmart PPC VAs are the same. They're Amazon PPC expert that now we're gained additional trainings on Walmart. So what you said is exactly correct. I mean, you can hire a Walmart VA that would be doing 2 hours for you on Walmart and 2 hours for you on Amazon, and it's actually the same VA that was trained on both. So these are the departments that we have. In addition to that, we have also other types of VAs. We have social media VAs that it's not really about Amazon or Walmart. It's really like everything about creating brand awareness that everyone needs to have by creating content on regular basis, on posting it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, working with influencers, everything that's social. That's the job of the social media VAs. We have executive assistants that are more like general VAs. If you need somebody to help you with data entry, researches, customer service that is not Amazon or Walmart, like general talking to people on the phone, things that are even managing. I mean, my executive assistant, she handles my inbox and my schedule. She schedule appointments for me and so on. So, I mean, that's the executive assistants. And we also have graphic designers and video editors. So basically, a lot of these things are not really like Amazon related. They're more to support a brand that is selling on Amazon, Walmart, and other marketplaces as well.
Okay. You touched on executive assistant. So I have an assistant. She's listening probably right now because she's summarizing. Hi, Mary. So anyways, one of the things, these are things that you don't typically think about when you're working with an assistant. Now, you can have your Walmart assistant or your Amazon assistant who is still working with you over a couple hours a day, each one, but they can also slip into your inbox first thing in the morning. And my inbox, it's so awesome. If your inbox is unruly, I literally will have 50 emails, but in the email, and this is my entire inbox, by the way. So when I wake up, I'll probably have 50 emails. And in that, there might be one that has a red exclamation mark, which is urgent, important. So I've got to answer that. Some might be some receipts that have come in, so they just want me to approve it or approve payment. So they're green, 7 different colors that we have. And anyways, I just look down, I drag it over to these different labels so other people are delegated to do it. And all I'm left with is whatever I have to answer to right away. The other thing is monitoring communication. There's like 20 different communication channels. And she manages the funnel. So I don't see it. We use something called Rambox. And it all communication goes into this funnel, and she has one urgent email that only one person has, and she'll send it off to me if it's urgent, and that's the only time I get interrupted. So I'll look, like I put everything on pause, and I just do my tasks for the day, and then I'll break it every couple of hours just to take a quick look. But if I don't have to look in my inbox, Skype, Telegram, WhatsApp, WeChat, I get so much extra work done. And it's all driven by your assistant while they're doing this other stuff. And also all the travel. I travel a ton. Well, they know, or she knows, the airline I want a window, the time of day. I don't want to go out before 10:30. She knows all of this, even the hotels. So these are the things that take so much time that just for your life, if you want to have just take back your life, it's so worth it. If you're making a little bit of money and you want to take back your life, this is another way, not just doing your Amazon or your Walmart tasks, but to get somebody to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I cannot imagine my life without my personal assistant, for sure.
All right. So, okay, Michal, any other questions for our guest today?
I don't know. I don't have any more. I think I learned so much. I already, got some great tips. Thank you, Gilad, for sharing, Norm. Do you have any question for him?
No, I think Gilad, you're off the hook until we meet the next event.
Yeah,
That was
right.
great.
I go straight to bed here. I don't know if you know. In Israel, it's like it's 11 p.m. now. So but I'm used to working in these hours. But yeah, it's already
Yeah.
nighttime here. It
Oh,
looks really like
Do we have any
color.
questions?
we just had a question come in right
Okay.
now. What is the cost of the service? Are there any specials being offered? Okay, that's something I should have asked you before you came on, Glad.
All right, so let me save this question for you. So, I mean, first of all, a little bit about the pricing. Basically, the rate for a Walmart trained VAs is $6.5 an hour, and the rate for a PPC Walmart VA is $8.5 an hour. And remember, these people are also trained on Amazon, so they could help you both on Amazon and Walmart. Social media is $6.5 an hour, and graphic designers and video editors is $7.5 an hour. I'll be happy to talk to anybody here who is interested in learning more about our services and so on. I'll be happy to also give an offer to those that are here listening to us. First of all, I'll give 10% off the one-time fee. When working with us, there's a one-time fee that you pay only once in the beginning, so I'll give 10% off this one-time fee. Plus, first 10 hours free of your first VA. So just mention to us that you came in when after watching this webinar.
Does that
Ecom
include Michal
Power.
and myself? Because can we take
Yeah.
You're
that offer
already
as well?
working with our VAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for today's episode. I do have one more sponsor I have to read out, but Gilad, thank you so much for coming on. You're always just a great guy to talk to, and you have a great service. And yeah, until next time.
Thank
But
you
I
very much
guess,
for having me.
Kelsey, do I read this now, Kels?
Yes, yeah, go ahead and read that now.
Because we don't have a shout out. So something I get really nervous about. So if I start shaking, you know why. All right, this is a live readout. So this podcast is sponsored by Wallysmarter. Wallysmarter.com is a cutting edge software tool designed to help online sellers make more money on Walmart.com. Featuring advanced keyword and product research tools, Wallysmarter identifies high demand, low competition niches for you to capitalize on. With the most accurate Walmart sales estimates providing by its easy to use Chrome extension. I think I said that right. It's got a Chrome extension and it's very easy to use. Wallysmarter takes all the guesswork out of selling on Walmart, the Walmart marketplace. Be empowered to make informed decisions and grow your business like never before. Try Wallysmarter today with no credit card, underline no credit card, and use coupon POWER30 to get 30% off Wallysmarter today. There we go.
You did amazing.
Woo!
That was good. You probably would done it better than I would. So thank you for that. And yeah, and thank you for Wallysmarter, you guys. They were here 2 weeks ago. So you
Yeah.
guys, you can always find all the episodes in the Facebook group. You can find the episode on our YouTube channel. I think this is already our fourth or fifth
Yep.
episode.
And
Right?
just
So
ready, we've compiled a bunch of content for
Yes.
our podcast, all the major podcast platforms.
Yes. Yes, and again, thank you for Gilad, and thank you for the amazing offer. You know, getting your first VA 10 hours for free. I think that's worth to try. Definitely, I definitely recommend, especially because I'm working with Gilad the last 6 months intensively and helping them with the Walmart. So I know they know Walmart. So I take the responsibility on that. So thank you, Gilad.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, now go to bed. Well, that wasn't nice just cutting them off like that. All right, if you can still hear me, Glad, it was nice having you on here. Now go to bed. That's it. Anything else to say?
No, we're gonna see you in 2 weeks, and if you like this podcast, like, share, subscribe, and everything else.
All right, we'll see you next time on Ecom Power.